Hello, buongiorno, bonjour, hola, hello, and guten. Oh, it's not the morning anymore, so I don't know how to say good afternoon. Anyway, so so this is a continuum of the previous video log I just wrapped up. When I sung to in October of 2020, I sung uh, Chuck Berry's song to Elvis Presley's former music director of his Sweet Inspirations, and he said that I sounded unbelievable over the phone. Then that October of 2020, I sung Michael Jackson Out of My Life to my other co-captain, James Brown's former personal drummer. He then said to me over the phone, Jorge, that was off the chain. Um, then when um, I sung to my other co-captain, Julian G. Marvin, formerly guitarist of Bob Marley and the Wailers, and T-Bone Walker, pioneer of the electric blues. I sung the Jimi Hendrix Experience song Red House to him over the phone. And then in December of 2021, when I sung Happy Birthday to my other co-captain, Sean Cole, Whitney Houston's former background singer from the World Bodyguard tour, and she said you have a Michael Jackson sounding sing voice. Um, and her company that day was a is a former Golden Gloves boxer that was mentored by Sugar Ray Leonard, and they both gave me a standing ovation. Um, and now to mention, when I telephoned the former guitarist of Paul Simon, as in Simon and Garfunkel, who was contracted and hired by Clive Davis, the one and the only Clive Davis of Arista Records, Clive Davis, who mentored an 18-year-old Carlos Santana, who mentored Whitney Houston, who signed Aerosmith, gave Aerosmith a record deal with Columbia Records in 1972, and who financed Puff Daddy's Bad Boy Records Entertainment Inc. after Puff Daddy, now Diddy, played a demo tape of the Notorious B.I.G. Biggie Smalls inside the office of Clive Davis. That same Clive Davis, who said, I believe it was the tail end of 2021, at the We Love New York City Outdoor Music Festival inside of Central Park, when he announced and introduced Carlos Santana stepping up the stage. And understand, Clive Davis signed easily, perhaps 100 plus of the most legendary, iconic recording artists of pop history and culture. Air Supply, I mean, it's just so many of them. So Clive Davis said when he introduced Carlos, he said, I am introducing the most significant recording artist to me of my entire 60-year illustrious career in the major recording industry of America. I introduce you to the one and the only Carlos Santana of Santana. Clive Davis said that right there on live television, and it was being aired live on CNN TV. He said that about Carlos. And then after Carlos's set, it started to rain, storm, and thunder. And then the rest of the acts that were placed after Carlos never got to perform because the concert then got thundered and rained out afterwards at Central Park. I think that was August of 2021. Okay, so anyhow, his name was Terrence Brown, also known as Big T. And Big T was one of Paul Simon's former guitar players, as in Simon and Garfunkel. And a lot of people don't know this, but when John Lennon had his life taken in front of Yoko Ono that night at the Dakota Building, Building 1 West 72nd Street, right under my Romanesque arch that leads into the courtyard of the Dakota Building. Paul Simon was a resident inside of that building, along with Roberta Flack and others. So a lot of people don't know that he may have even possibly been in the building. There is a possibility that Paul Simon was inside the building during during the crime committed versus John Lennon in front of Yoko Ono. Oh, Laura McCall. So Roberta Flack, Laura McCall, and Paul Simon were all living in that building, and were all tenants, property owners, the night of John Lennon's death, um, under the Roman arch, facing the courtyard of the Dakota building, where Rosemary's Baby was filmed and directed by Roman Polanski, who was Sharon Tate's fiance. Right? Right. So, hey, history is history. What are you going to do? Facts are facts. So, yeah, so basically, um, and Sharon Tate was, again, 8.5 months pregnant with Roman Polanski's to be son. But, um, yeah, all of it's a lot of tragedy, lot of tragedy. But nonetheless, Paul Simon was living in that building. Okay, so now back to Big T. So Big T's business partner was the one and the only Carl Chucky Thompson, who was one of Biggie Smalls' top hit-making producers. So Chucky co-produced Big Papa with Diddy. He also did the songs One More Chance, Me and My Bitch, and he also did, that was for the Ready to Die album, and he also did Got a Story to Tell. That's on the Biggie Smalls Life After Death double LP, and the other track, Dead Wrong. Uh, Carl Chucky Thompson plastered me all over, enabled and allowed me to, and authorized me being plastered all over his official Facebook page from September 2016 um, up to October 2020. And then he was most tragically taken away from us by the coronavirus in August 2021. So I repeat again, I love you, Chucky. Rest in power, privilege, and prestige. I'm forever eternally indebted to you for having me all over your page. I believe and suspect and sense that Chucky's son, who is also a recording studio producer, has taken over the administrative side of managing his father's official Facebook page. And his son is carrying in the footsteps and traditions of his father. And I checked about several weeks ago, and one of my more recent posts from several months ago to last year's at the very top of his father's page. I mean, what honor. Song Ready to Die, that is the title track of the album Ready to Die, the Sentinel album debut by Biggie Smalls, called by both the source. Well, I'm not sure about the source, so let me watch it with that. But Rolling Stone magazine said, quote, "It is the greatest hip hop album in all of hip hop and rap history." They ranked the Notorious B.I.G.'s Ready to Die album as the #1 album, and said it was the most honest storytelling and inside look at that environment, that atmosphere, and that tree culture of life. Okay, so I sung what song? I sung over the phone to Big T. I forget what song I sung to him, but I sung a song to him, and the response was favorable. Big T is also no longer with us. He passed away the 12th of May, 2022. So to Big T, rest in peace, power, and privilege. Those were two members of my team, and they're now no longer here with us. So may they rest in power, prestige, and privilege.